All right, guys. All right, levels are good. Okay, wanted to walk you through a little bit today, something I think that's going to greatly help some of you on a trade that I took today. So, what we're looking at here is we're looking at March 31st. I shared with some of the people in Discord. These are the levels that I'm looking to trade. As you can see here, up here, I had a couple different areas of confluence. This was a naked weekly point of control on a naked daily point of control. I knew that this was a trend line that was coming down here, and if we got to here, it was either going to flip this into support and rip, or it was going to probably back test and come down. So, one of the things that I love to do when I'm listening on YouTube is I have a listening protocol. This is my bullshit meter. Uh, if someone isn't following this process, I really just don't even bother listening. And I wanted to walk you through a little bit of it. So I think it's right here. So, first off, when I'm listening to somebody on YouTube, I'm always scanning and thinking, am I listening for entertainment or am I listening for process? So, the first thing I want to do is I want to tune myself in. Why am I listening? Right? I am not consuming content. I'm not here to consume content. I'm not here for entertainment. Sure, there's some people who are entertaining, but I'm not in it for that. If you're in this for trading, you should be extracting process, right? You should be looking for something to build a system that removes friction and improves execution. So I always ask myself for that. Is this helping me know where my risk is going to be anchored? Is this helping me know why a level matters? Is this telling me what price has to do next for this not to matter? Right? Not trading knowledge, infrastructure, right? I want to know how professionals operate faster, clearer, and more efficiently. So when I'm coming in, if it isn't showing me where my risk is anchored, where I'm going to make money, how to make a decision, what factors go into decision making, really, it's entertainment. And I'm done with it. So, watching with purpose, what does this make faster or clearer? Or one of the biggest questions I like to ask myself when I am, and if you are watching this, you're probably on YouTube looking for some trading tips. Maybe you're looking for levels, maybe this and that. Always ask yourself this question: what problem is this solving? Right? When you're going in, because I doubt very highly that you need more tools. You don't need more information. You need more decision making process, right? Most of the people on here, they trade too much, or they just have an incomplete process, or they really haven't dialed in their edge yet. Knowing your edge. Your edge has to start with patience. I remember when I got out of prison, I was so grateful to be home, and there was no rush. Nobody expected anything out of me. And so then I knew I want to do this and I want to do this and I'm going to go full on at it. And nobody expected me to be the best trader overnight, right? So I could go hard at it, but I didn't have that pressure. There was no financial pressure. There was no pressure coming in. There was nothing. I wasn't judging myself. I was just so happy and grateful to be able to have access to these things, to have access to charts. I was looking in newspapers. When we were in San Quentin, there was a guy that was trading options through his mother. He would look in and see, it was an acquisitions course. He would find what companies were acquiring other companies. And he had a formula where if the acquiring company had a net worth of over 90% over the 10% of the acquisition, he would buy and then he would sell and he would call up his mom. He was trading out of the newspaper and just articles through phone calls through his mother. So when I got back, it was like, this is so cool. I get to have this data, I get to have these charts, and I used a lot of information that I didn't need. And I realized over time that I had too much information and not enough decision making process. So when I'm doing something that involves process, I'm working on process, but I always pause and replicate when I'm doing something that involves platform. So I like to keep all my plans on TradingView, but I like to trade through Atas. And Atas is great because I can trade on that one platform, crypto. I can trade minis, micros. I can trade everything right through that. It removes friction. It is ease of access. I don't know if many of you guys do this, but you're looking at TradingView, you're trading on your phone, you're doing the stop loss. That's fine. And if you do it successfully, great. But when you're removing friction, it's very important that you have a process, or if you're thinking about moving to ATAS and you're looking at some things, it's very important that you pause and replicate. Identify the 20% that you will use daily. Focus on that. Focus on that 20% and swing hard at those things, those concepts, those topics, right? Define what each tool actually does for decision making. This is great. Like, I remember I learned about Elliott waves, and I was like, oh, wow, Elliott waves, and these are the rules, and then this and that. But at a certain point, I had to ask myself, how is this actually helping me make a decision that is growing my account? How is this showing me where risk is anchored? How is this showing me when to actually make a decision? And a lot of times you will find that when you come with it at that framework, a lot of it is noise. So if it doesn't improve a decision, it doesn't belong on my screen. Every line on your screen has to earn its way there. If I'll give you an example, right here, naked daily point of control, naked weekly point of control. I run the statistics on these, and I know through my statistics that these are generally great levels. Let's look at today. We broke that trend. I entered on that. We have not been able to close a 30-minute candle above that level. Currently, I know where my risk is anchored. My risk is anchored above the high. Actually, a little bit. I entered in this one. I gave it about a $200 stop loss. We came up. When we came up here, was I worried? I was not worried, because this is where my risk is anchored. Above the high, no value was built there. We came back above the high, but no value was built there. So we came up once, twice, 3 times, and now this trade is in profit. This trade has a take profit down here, right, at these lows. And this trade could go either way. The highest probability is that we keep on going up. But until then, this trade, I know where my risk is anchored. I know where my stop loss is, and I know why I entered the trade. Why? Where? Risk. Having a system that you will develop over time based on what levels you find that work for you. Me, I love the naked points of control. Right here, I had naked point of control confluence. Price came up here, and I got to tell you what an amazing feeling it is when you don't have to panic, right? You just say, hey, if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. I determine my proper 1% risk up here, boom, right? 0.56 divided by 100, 0.0056, 1%, whatever. I will get into the formula another time. But anyways, right now I'd have a good 3-to-1, 2-to-1, and I'm in the trade. I'm in the trade. I'm in for a penny. I'm in for a pound. This trade was actually given out, I don't know how many days in advance. I knew, so this is March 31st. So I knew that if I got this reaction at that level, and I even said it right here, double top, this is the 31st. We come here to today, and then this played out exactly as planned. I knew where the risk was going to be anchored. At the time, I didn't know where my stop loss was going to be, because my stop loss had to be given to me by the reaction. So if you have trouble with this, or if you don't understand some of this, say something in the comments. Come on in the Discord. We can just get you consistent, do this day after day, just kind of grow a little community of people. Look, trading is a lonely business. I'm just looking to have some cool people who want to learn together, earn together, grow together. And yeah. Anyways, I hope that helped out today. I know I was a little bit all over the place, but having frameworks, I love me a good list. You can screenshot this. This is my listening protocol. Always, 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 when I'm on YouTube, I'm putting everything to the test, every bit of information, every concept, every tool. It has to earn its way onto my chart. And it should for you, because really you're playing with your money, right? This is not a gambling scheme, and this is definitely not supposed to be a donation. So when you're throwing your money at the market and you know what you're doing, you're literally donating your money to those who do. So take it easy, guys. We'll see you next time. Just dropping this video a little bit today. Just something I thought was kind of cool and might help somebody. Peace out.